This is a depiction of the human skeleton. And when you sit, your weight goes on these bones here. They're called the seat bones. Okay? If your weight's on the seat bones when you sit, the skeleton's upright. If you sit far back in your chair, you'll tend to slump. And this happens inevitably in the situation, what they call the bucket seat in the car. When you sit in the bucket seat in the car, let me bring this up here. So, the saddle stool is based on the saddle like in a horse saddle. When you sit in the saddle stool, the weight goes on the seat bones. When the weight's on the seat bones, the body automatically, with no effort, will sit perfectly upright. If you scoot forward on the saddle and roll your shoulders, you're sitting on the tailbone. If your knees are up higher than your tailbone, your body will be in compression, and that unfortunately is the ergonomic position in all bucket seats and in any chair in which you sit backwards on it. So let me show you a regular chair, what that does to the body, and then the saddle stool. So here's a regular chair. Now, if I sit back on the chair, I'm sitting all the way back. You see how I'm pitched back and I'm in a state of collapse. I mean, I might look okay because I'm height and weight proportionate, but you see there's no evidence of lift in my body. Now, if on the other hand, I look at this chair, I put my four fingers together and I decide from the forward edge of the chair to the outer edge of my little finger, that's the advantageous ground on the chair. So if I sit on the very edge, my weight's on my seat bones and my body automatically is upright. If I slide back, the weight begins to go on my hamstrings, my pelvis rolls under, and then I'm invited to lean back on the chair. And what I have is a slow motion destruction of my skeleton. Because what's happening here, I'm getting shorter. Getting shorter passively is not a good idea. So once again, if I bring my hips forward, now if I press my heels down, you'll see my body lift. So to accomplish this in a regular chair, you have to sit your rear end forward. If we go to the saddle stool, there's many various versions of this thing, but see, it's shaped like a saddle. So, because it's dipped like this, when you set your hips on it, you'll immediately find your body goes immediately upright. When you first start using this, you might want to do it only for maybe 10-15 minutes at a time. But I'll tell you, I've been sitting in this for years now. They're fairly addictive because you find if you sit like this, you can sit for hours, stand up, and you're not stiff, you're not sore. The human body is designed to relate to gravity at an angle of mechanical advantage, which is the rib cage up. When the ribs are up, your energy renews constantly, all the time. So if you have the opportunity to get, now this is called a saddle stool, not a saddle chair. Saddle stools you can get fairly inexpensively. I think you'd be very happy with it because once again, all around the world, no matter what the cultures are like, cultures that put a saddle on a horse, the saddle is nearly always identical all the way around. The trappings, the tack related to the saddle may be different, but the shape of the saddle is shaped to make your hips, your seat bones bear the weight, not your tailbone, not your pubic bone, not to rock you back, but to bring your body upright so your lungs expand fully in the upright rib cage. Okay, that's a saddle stool. I think you're really going to love it once you get the hang of it.